Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're talking today about productivity as a trauma response and as something that can actually diminish your libido and diminish your ability to stay in your body. So this is a really interesting topic because we talk in health and wellness around micro traumas and macro traumas and how we work with them. And it's very common that people will use things such as alcohol or cannabis or other mind-altering substances as a way of dealing and coping with trauma. Other times people will check out, will basically spend their day in bed watching a lot of TV and basically check out of dealing with the trauma. And these are known coping mechanisms that are easy to recognize. But what's really interesting, and this ties into our topic of libido, is that productivity, overproductivity, hyperproductivity is what I'm talking about here. Hyperproductivity and overproductivity can actually be trauma responses. They can actually be responses to having trauma. And we use these coping mechanisms of diving into work, of working crazy hours sometimes as a way of not, say, tapping into the challenge of our emotions. So we see articles online, we can call them busy bee syndromes, we can call them hyperproductivity syndromes. But the idea of this is that, hey, when you are going through something hard, what can happen is rather than feeling that emotion and processing the intensity of whatever it is in your body, some people will go hyper into work to avoid feeling those uncomfortable feelings. So it's a different strategy of, say, avoidance as compared to using alcohol or something like that. But one of the problems is even though in many ways it is a better coping mechanism than a lot of mechanisms that people use out there, it's still a problem because it's preventing us from feeling those feelings. And here's how this connects to your libido. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we can do about it. So how this connects to libido and pleasure and passion and all this is that in order to feel the depths of our pleasure, in order to do things as a woman, like experience greater orgasms, in order to do things as a man, which oftentimes are things like delaying your orgasm to last longer for your partner. In order to do any of that, we do need to be very, very present to the sensations in our body, right? We have to be present. We have to know you're delaying an orgasm. You have to know whether you're a woman or a man, the techniques, whether it's breathing, whether it's clenching or relaxing, whether it's making sound. There's so many different techniques out there that can actually delay and prolong the pleasure, delay the orgasm, prolong the pleasure. But in order to do that, we have to be in our body. We have to be aware of things as they're happening. And so one of the things that can be a sign of not being in the body is, wow, there's a lot of sadness, or there's a lot of guilt, or there's a lot of grief, or there's a lot of anger that you're not allowing yourself to feel. And the more that we practice in our everyday life, hey, I'm not going to feel these feelings, the more it actually goes into our bedroom life to say, oh, well, I've been practicing all day, not feeling all those sensations. I've been checking out, and maybe in this example of this video, hyperproductive. And so what that does is that prevents us, like a practice of saying, hey, I'm not going to be inside my sensations. I'm going to leave my body instead of feeling ultimately what is going on with me. And when that happens, that can lead to this level of not fully being engaged into our sensations during sex. So what happens inside the bedroom? Oftentimes it's a reflection of what happens outside the bedroom. They mirror each other. So the more we can show up in the bedroom and be in our senses, the more we can show up outside of the bedroom and be in our senses, and vice versa. So one of the things that we can do to start getting back into our body, there's a few different ideas here. One very cool tool that I am really excited about are vagal nerve stimulators. Vagal nerve stimulators are devices that will stimulate the parasympathetic part of your body, the part of the nervous system that is designed to feel safe, that is designed to be in more of that calm state, that it helps you get back inside your body. right? And some of these devices can be implanted, which can be an aggressive thing to try. But the vagal nerve stimulators I'm really excited about are the ones that are just external devices that you hold on your neck, since your vagal nerve runs through there. And you essentially are stimulating your vagal nerve externally. This can help bring feelings because it's essentially what it's doing. It is connecting. It is causing the nervous system that is about your parasympathetic, that rest, that calm state. It's causing that part of the nervous system to become more active. That allows people usually to sink into their body, because the idea of that fight or flight, that, hey, this was trauma, that puts us in that survival mechanism. And that part of our nervous system, that fight or flight, is what we need to repattern so we feel safe in our body and our senses, which again will translate into oftentimes better sex and better orgasms. So you can get a vagal nerve stimulator. That's a really cool thing. Another thing you can do are just activities all day long to help practice safety. So these types of activities are involve being in your senses, right? Feeling. So if I'm in a fight or flight survival mechanism, I'm not going to be paying attention to if my hand touches my face, if my hand touches my other hand, if I rub my legs. I'm not going to be very focused on those tiny micro sensations in that fight or flight survival mechanism, because it just doesn't work, because I can't be paying attention to the hand on my face when I'm trying to escape whatever scenario I'm in. So one of the practices here to actually throughout the day to bring you back into safety, to get you more prepared for the depths of pleasure with sex, is really involves anything that is of the senses. So we can take time throughout the day, just in small moments or anytime you're feeling stressed, to just rub your legs, rub your face, rub your hands together. And the idea, what makes this, turns this into your parasympathetic system, is the presence of the touch. So if I'm rubbing my hands together, what I want to be paying attention to is one hand touching and like what it feels to be the hand that is giving that rub to the other hand. And then to the hand that's like kind of receiving hand, I want to pay attention to what it feels like to be the hand that's receiving. Same thing on my legs, same thing on my face, same thing if I do deep breathing. Any of these things that are like, oh, I am here in the moment, to the sensations around me, that's going to help put you into that parasympathetic nervous system state. That's going to make you more present to the moment. And that's going to make you more aware of what's happening during a sexual experience. And it's going to make sex a whole lot better. So kind of the moral of this is, if you're somebody that is hyper productive, and I am definitely victim of this, right? Or I shouldn't say victim. I am responsible for this. This has been my mechanism of action that I have used for a long time to process things. So I've seen this in myself around, wow, things get really, hard emotionally in my life. And what I have tended to do is like, oh, I have all this energy because I'm processing all these things and it's hard, and I'll stay up late and I'll wake up early and I'll just throw myself into my work. So my tendency has been exactly this, to say, hey, this is really hard. So I will cope by actually putting my mind on this other thing, right? And just so you can see how it's a hard thing to actually find in many ways, to actually recognize, because it's not like it's a harmful thing we're doing to our body in many ways, although that overwork has its detrimental effects on the health. And it still is a way that we are checking out from feeling the sensations in the body, so that when it comes to bed, when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to sex, if we've been practicing not feeling those hard things, when it comes to feeling the good things, our mind's going to probably be practiced on checking out, and we're not going to be able to enjoy and pay attention to the sensations in our body and the subtleness of this. And while I do find that this oftentimes impacts women more than men, I do see that men are impacted here too, because if we're checked out of our body and we're going in and out, it is much harder to do things such as control the ejaculation and make yourself last longer, which is a very, you really have to be present to those micro sensations in the body to do that well. So I hope this has been helpful. Please do subscribe. We talk about so many things regarding libido and health and relationships and sexuality, and I don't want you to miss any of it. Ciao for now.